So, welcome to Align and Activate Your Spiritual Business. Today, we are going to be talking about social media, unleashing your unique energy. So, my name is Amy, and I am a coach and mentor for light workers. I support them to break through their energetic blocks, to have confidence in their gifts, and to manifest thriving, healing businesses they adore. And today, I am joined by the beautiful
Jenny Priestner. I am a manifestation and mindset mentor for spiritual biz owners. So I help spiritual entrepreneurs move from a place of fear and self-doubt to confidently show up in their business and manifest a thriving soul-led business.
Beautiful. Okay, so today we've got an exciting topic for you, but before we go ahead with that, then I'm going to invite you to like and subscribe. Do let us know in the comments if there's any particular topic that you would love for us to discuss, because we are very open to that and hearing your perspectives and what you would like for us to dive deeper with as a spiritual entrepreneur. Okay, Jenny, so social media then unleashing your unique energy. So, what would you say then that looks like in your spiritual business? And maybe tell us a little bit about your journey to begin with.
My journey on social media. So I will just start with before I started my spiritual business, before I even was had my Instagram account, I never posted on social media. Like I really, really,
Mm.
really struggled with it because obviously I was in like the hermit phase of my spiritual awakening, and I'd when you used to go out when you were younger, and I'd be posting all the time, and this is what I am, and this is what I do. And then all of a sudden, like I retracted my energy and was like, I just don't want people to know what I'm doing. So in order for me to like be able to put my business out on show, I had to like massively come out my shell. So that was like a block first off that I feel people might be resonating with, the fact that they don't even post on social media privately to begin with. So then all of a sudden
Mm.
you've got to come out and be like, oh, well, this is me and this is my business and this is what I do. It's like, I feel like it's a double hurdle, if that makes sense, whereas I feel if you're already doing like, oh, this is my tea and we're going for a walk, then you've already got that flow of putting yourself out there. But to like be completely in your shell to then have to come out, it's like there's more mindset blocks that you've got to work through because you've got to like do the whole, like again, it's building up that audience, isn't it? So that's where my kind of social media journey began, because I was really having to coax myself out of the shell. So unleashing your unique energy, I would say, is I've got this image of like, just go with me on this one. It's just like thousands and thousands and thousands of sheep, right? Because that's what it is like out there. Like loads and loads and loads of white sheep. And then all of a sudden it's like you're there trying to stand out from all the others. And it's like unleashing your unique energy is what is going to make you stand out from the crowd. It's about daring to be different. So I hope that kind of answered your question a little bit there.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that because I know that like on my journey, I wasn't on social media hardly at all. I definitely wasn't on Instagram. I barely use Facebook. I would go for like periods of like 1 to 2 years of not even having Facebook at all because I just didn't resonate with it. Like I just couldn't be bothered with it. Like I found that I was happier with it, to be honest. But once you like have your own business, like in this day and age, I mean, you don't have to, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to build your business if you are on social media. And I feel like one of the biggest things that people have resistance around, I know that I see it in my clients, I'm sure you probably do as well, is like straight away they're like, I don't want to do social media, or like I don't like social media. And it's very much a mindset and a way of thinking in itself. And it's really learning that social media is just another way of you communicating your energy and communicating your message. And it's an incredibly powerful tool when you actually learn to embrace it, when you actually learn to love it. And it doesn't mean that you have to be on there like 24/7. It's more about you learning to flow with it and finding a way of working that really does resonate with you. Um, but yeah, it's definitely about you learning to, I'd say, like broadcast your energy in a way that feels very authentic
Like
for
that.
you. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that.
definitely, definitely.
See, I like how you've brought the authentic thing into it because I feel like sometimes when we are creating content, we're creating content that's safe, that we know that people will like because it's what we've seen someone else do. But all you're doing is kind of cut and paste in the energy of that other person's done. when when people are scrolling, they want something different. They want something that sort of jumps out at them on the screen. Because if you think about it, like it's social media is a dopamine rush, isn't it? You know, like they liken like the scroll to, pulling down on the jackpot. That's what it's been likened to, and that's why you can't put your
Mm,
phone down like at bedtime or whatever it is, because everyone's just like, oh, but the next thing might be exciting. The next thing might be exciting. It
yeah,
like that flick is like, what's it going to be? And then, when it's like boring, boring, and then you find something you engage in. So it's like for every like shit flick, is that the right word? For every shit flick, there's probably like, one good one. So it's again, it's creating content that is going to stand out to other people. But us as human beings, sometimes we don't want to stand out, do we? We want to just be safe. We want to like blend in with the crowd, which is where I was going with my sheep
mm,
analogy. So it's what we need to be as business owners is standing out and be dare to be seen. But what we want to do as human beings is just merge into the crowd and like not get the attention from other people. So then what you're getting inside is like an internal conflict then, isn't it? Of trying
yeah,
to do the right thing and trying to do like what your brain and your mindset wants to do, which is why this is one of the things that I work on with my clients is that mindset of being seen. It's the visibility, because it's such a hurdle to get through, because most of the time, and myself including, there is something there that has happened that has held them back, that is stopping them from wanting to be visible. Whereas if it's again, if you're showing up and like, this is what I do, da, 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 all bells and whistles, it's like the mind is like, but what's such and such going to say about this? How's that going to go down? And again, it starts like a thread of interwoven loop of like all these mindsets and like inner critic and all these little voices that start playing out inside of like, well, what this person's going to think? And what's that person going to do? And what if no one likes it? And it's a bit of a minefield, isn't it? Sometimes, like when you post on social media, you think, oh, right, okay, well, that's one hurdle done. But really, all you've done is like chucked a grenade into like, I don't know, a sort of a pit, and it's just set up like another bomb inside. Like, but is it good enough? Is it landing well? What are they going to think about it? Do I look stupid doing that? And especially, I think it's different if, for example, I don't know, you've got like a shoe business or something like that. Like, it's you want to stand out kind of thing. And obviously, shoes are widely accepted, but then you've got a spiritual business. So again, you've got that mindset of like, is this okay? Is this acceptable? Is this going to land well? And you've probably maybe experienced that with light language. Like people are, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a mindset barrier as well, because that is like niche, 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 isn't it? Light language. And not many people are, it's becoming more and more prominent nowadays, which is absolutely amazing. But there's still loads of people like, well, it's too heavy for that thing. You know what I mean? I feel like you're putting some nice fluffy gloves on under there.
I've got a cold, everyone, so I'm not feeling my best today. So I'm just like putting my jumper on.
Or you was putting one of those old-fashioned muffs on, where they sit there
I'm
like
off.
that with the hands in it.
Yeah, I just want to like get warm and just yeah. But yeah, sorry, go on. You were saying about light language.
So it's not only have you got that barrier of trying to put yourself out there, it's that
Mm,
barrier then of being seen as showing up in your spiritual business. Like, it's still that I always like to say to it, you've got your authentic self, which is fully remembering who you are and fully integrated into your gift. But then you've also got like you're in a critic, you're in a dialogue, and it's your ego self, which is like, I don't think this is going to be accepted. And you're either more in your ego, which is you're questioning your gift and you're questioning your presence on social media, or you're more into your authentic self, in which case you're like, yeah, this is totally acceptable. And if someone doesn't accept it, then I don't really give a flying fuck. because I'm just so comfortable being myself. And that's the thing, that's where I take my clients from like being in the ego mindset still of like, but I don't know if this is right, and like swaying it all the way over. So again, that's another hurdle, isn't it? Like there's so many hurdles, aren't there, with having a spiritual business. First of all, you've got to accept your gift and fully integrate into it. And when you're okay with it, then you can show the world, I'm okay with what I do. This is what I'm doing.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like you've got to be at peace with yourself and your gift first before you start putting on social media, because the cracks will start to show, and like the energy is detectable, isn't it? Like there's a difference between showing up like this is what I do and showing up as like this is what I do. Like there's a massive difference, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, you've definitely got to own your gifts like to a level, right? But sometimes as well, it like this is what I'm working through with like my sort of group at the minute is the program that I'm doing is that like it's also about doing the thing to give you that confidence as well. Like putting yourself out there is going to give you the confidence, even though part of you might be like, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. But
Just
like
do
actually doing it, yeah, just do it. Do you know what I mean? There is that as well. Cause it's like, yeah, you do definitely have to, own them to a point. Absolutely agree with you. Like, because if you're like really not sure of what you're doing, right, then it's like you're not going to show up with that energy of I've got this thing and it's fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean? I've got this thing and it's like next level. Because you have really got to believe in like what you have got is going to change people's lives. Because if you're not showing up for something with enthusiasm, if you're not excited about it, you like it needs to have worked for you, right? For you then to be able to, portray it to other people in a way that's going to want to excite them, right? Otherwise, it's not going to excite them, right? So it's like if you can't get your energy, your enthusiasm behind it, then other people will see through that, and especially on social media, where it is just like people just scrolling. Right. So, and when you show up and you talk about something with conviction and with passion, that's when people stop scrolling. Right. So it's like with light language, what I believe it does is it's like it you are transmitting an energy frequency that is highly magnetic, and for some people it will be repelling, and that's okay, because like you say, some people will be like, this is next level cray, like, but then that's fine because it's not for that person. You will like it will like I'm trying to explain that to my client, not trying to, I'm explaining that to my clients at the minute. Like you're going to get some people that are going to be like, what are you on, like what are you doing, do you know
I
what I
think you've
mean?
had
And
that as
it's
one of your comments, haven't you? Like, what have you smoked?
yeah, a recent one, yeah, it's like on a reel, did you smoke something? It's like, so these are
Are
probably
you
like late.
offering?
Yeah, you offering. So these are like late night scrollers, I think, that are just like, what even is this? Like, did you
That's
smoke
class.
something?
Like,
Like, do you know?
thanks for the algorithm boost, pal.
I know. So
Roll,
and
don't troll.
yeah, this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's like you do feel incredibly vulnerable and incredibly naked, right? When you first start going on social media, especially if you're somebody that like previously would be quite introverted on that side of things and just an introvert in general, like in you like your own energy, like your own space, probably don't spend a lot of time with a lot of people like myself, but can with the right people can be extroverted, right? And social media can be it can feel very overwhelming for people like that in the beginning, because it can feel like a lot. It's like you've got to there's almost, and this is where it comes down to, you've really got to love what you do, because it's not about you jumping on and like singing and dancing, or or whatever it is that you're doing. It's about you showing up in your energy and your radiance and your brilliance, but really owning what you do. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Like keep having sneezing fits.
Do
So
it, do it. It's
excuse me, everyone. I'm gonna act yeah, if you continue to just rip
we're all just gonna listen to you blow your nose.
it.
But it's about daring to be different as well. Like we've said, showing up in your energy. So that's one thing then. You've got to have conviction in what you're saying. So like I say, there's a difference between, look at my program, it's manifestation and mindset, and like, oh my God, I need to tell you about my clients' results. Like there's a complete difference. And that's what Amy was saying there. It's like you've got to believe in what you're doing first and be excited about it because that then comes across. So I always say as well that like if your heart's not in it on that day, like we've done it before when we're supposed to be doing the podcast on a certain day and we've both felt flat. It's like I can't just come on and be like, oh, we've got this amazing podcast. It's like if your energy's not kind of in it, then don't force yourself to do it because it will be very apparent on the screen. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, it's like there's no hard and fast rules like show up and mean it. It's like if you're not into it, then just don't just be kind to yourself that day or just give yourself a moment and just align with your values and your passion and your purpose and like just remind yourself of like I don't know a client win, visualize yourself doing being with a client and what it's like to again to sign a client and just get into that energy of like what it's like to be absolutely fulfilling your passion and then
Yeah.
just allow your energy to change if you do feel that you do need to post that day and then deliver with that energy. But if you're feeling flat and rushed and be like, oh, listen to this, it's great, it's like it's you're just posting for the sake of posting it, which is the worst thing to do. But yes, then daring to be different then. So it's like I see it all the time. It's like follow this strategy, do this, do this, do this. And like, they've all got these trademark strategies of what worked for them. And like, let's be honest, there's more than one way to skin a cat, isn't there? It's not like Instagram has rolled out. This is how to be a boss on Instagram. It's
Mm.
like different people have found different ways to work because
Yeah.
I will see some people and there's like SEO, search engine optimization. Obviously, we're going off on one here, but I feel like I need to speak about it. So it's, like when people are typing in like mindset, manifestation, medium, and it's like you'll then come up in that. So there's loads of social media people that say there's a thing where you can write all these words on your reel or on your content, but if you put it in white, then it can't be seen. So what the algorithm does is it's scanning your content and it sees all these words and it's like, right, okay, so it needs to go out to these people. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's called anyway, but loads of people like this is the worst thing that you can do for your account because obviously it's confusing the algorithm. So again, though, like people are like trying to sell that. Well, yeah, people are trying to like be the experts in their field, and 50% are saying this is a really good thing to do because it helps SEO, and the other 50% are saying this is absolute dog shit. It's gonna like damage
Yeah.
your account, and like
Right.
when you're like, well, which one do I do? Like, am I going for this
Yeah.
one or going for this one? And like, this is what we
Mhm.
mean. It can be so overwhelming trying to
Yeah.
do the right thing on social media. And so it's like, find what works for you. Because again, I feel like sometimes, and we spoke about this before on previous podcasts, like the validation, the living for likes and the followers. It's like, oh, I've got 10 followers today. But I'm like, but are those followers buying from you? You can have 65,000, that's a very accurate number, followers, but not one of them want to buy from you. But then you could
Yeah.
have 100 followers and 10 wanting to buy from you. So don't get
Mhm.
fixated on the numbers. Don't get fixated on, well, this strategy is going to allow me to gain more followers. It's like, no, like, it's about being heart centered. It's about putting your content out there that is going to resonate someone on an authentic level and on a heartfelt level and be like, do you know what? This bitch has been through what I've been through, and she is going to hold my way and guide me on the journey. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we want when we buy from people. We're buying from them because we're seeing, like, right, okay, they've been through what I've been through, and therefore they are the person sorry, they've been through
Mhm.
what I am going through. So therefore, they are the person to take me on that journey. That is how you know the right person to work with. That is why we share our stories on social media. That's why it is important to. And I think sometimes I feel like I have done in the past, like, oh, but I've already said that once. So therefore, like, I'm repeating myself. And it's like, yeah, but they might not have seen it. And not everyone scrolls back and looks at your previous post. Some people are like, living in the moment kind of thing. So share your story. And, I share mine all the time. It's like, it's what I am. This is what I do. This is the shitness that I've been through to get here to do it. This is how I can help you. Like, be open, be honest, and don't be afraid to share your story because that is authentic. And people need to hear that.
Mm. Yeah, apparently it's quality over quantity these days on social media. Um, ever since lockdown, because before that people would like post a lot of times a day, but now because there is so much on there, like we were saying, what causes people to stop scrolling is when they see something, that's more of like quality. So definitely like just going that little bit deeper and just sort of sharing more of yourself, your heart, your energy, what it is that you're about, but ultimately what about that, then for me, I always think like, is this content going to transform someone's life? Is it gonna, when they watch this, when they listen to this, is it, are they going to resonate with this? Because it social media can definitely feel overwhelming, like I'm not gonna lie. And it's, for me, the biggest thing with social media for me is I find it incredibly distracting. So I have to be really, really focused and intentional when I'm on there with what I'm doing, because it's still, even though I don't really like, even though I've still got everything to my business settings, I still find myself very distracted with things. So it's really being clear with why you're going on and like when you're going on as well. But definitely it's about sharing heart-centered content. And is this gonna help someone when they watch it? And it's okay, to sell things as well, but I always think that like in everything that I do, I want somebody to have a transformation from watching this, from receiving this, even if it's your energy, because it might not be like the most obvious thing, but it is your energy and like how you actually show up, as opposed to like what it is so much that you are posting, and definitely not posting for the sake of just posting. I definitely agree with that. Mm.
It's about as well, it's building an in-demand brand, as in one where you are recognizable, because like I said, you're just one little fish in a big ocean, so you got to like stand out for what you do. And like I've changed my branding so many times because I feel like even when I start getting comfortable with it, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the one that I love. And then I change and evolve as a person. I look at it, I'm like, what am I thinking? Like, this just doesn't resonate with me anymore. But then I
Yeah,
used to kind of like beat myself up about it sometimes because I used to think, like, why am I just not happy with sticking with something? But that's the same with everything. It's like I do the same with my wardrobe. And this is like one of the things that I shared. Like, go through your wardrobe. Anything that doesn't resonate with you anymore, get rid of it. Like, I'll put on some jumpers and I'm like, I just feel flat. And it's like, that is your energy that you're then going to be omitting,
yeah.
omitting, emitting. Omitting is
Mm-hmm.
leaving something out. Good old English language. Um, but yeah, so it's important to, if it doesn't vibe with you anymore and it doesn't light you up, then change it. And don't be afraid to change it. Like if I look through my Instagram, it like has like an eclectic array of pictures, colours. And I remember like when I'd launched as, what was that? Like you, Amy, you've changed your niche and rebranded, and I was like a self-love
Yeah,
and confidence coach, which is
yeah,
still what I actually really do, because obviously
yeah,
within my teaching, and you are as well, it's like it's
yeah,
multifaceted, isn't it? Like
yeah,
in order to cultivate a positive mindset, you've got to love yourself, you've got to be confident. So I
yeah,
feel like it's like underneath is like the underlying program, or like your gift in what you deliver, you just kind of rechanging the wording to make it appeal to different people. But yeah, I came on with like beige, like everything was just beige because it felt like my whole house was beige at the time, to be fair. And although I was comfortable with that, I feel like maybe it was because I wasn't confident in being different or confident in being standing out. But then the
mm-hmm.
more as I came into my own, the more as I came into my own energy, like that's where I started getting like the pinks and the purples vibes, because I love pink and purple.
Yeah.
Um, and also as well, purple is a very regal, spiritual colour.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt more me. And then I started being a little bit daring and a little bit different then. And you've got to be unforgettable, really. And I know that's quite hard, but that's why you've got to just show up and be yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're just showing up on camera like, I've got this manifestation tip and it's really good, and what you're gonna do is it's like you're forgettable. Scroll. So it is just about like bringing your energy onto the
Mhm.
screen and yeah, just not being afraid of what people might be thinking or saying. Because of 10 people might looking at it, five people might think, what the fuck's she on about? And the other five might be like, oh, this is my person. And that is how you
Yeah.
magnetize the people
Yeah.
that want you. Whereas if you're trying to be that sort of cookie cutter approach and you're trying to sort of be everything that, if you're trying to be everything that everyone wants you to be, then you're just being nothing that no one wants you to be. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm.
But you've just got to like be 100% yourself to attract your tribe. So don't try and like, I don't know, bland yourself down to be loved and liked by everyone.
Yeah. It's like amplifying the version of you and like turning that up so that like you're just so much you, but even more, right? So it's like it's about the passion that you have for what you do. Like it all for me, it always comes back to that because I've just decided to work with another business mentor and I've not worked with anyone for 2 years. And I was like really thinking about what is it about this girl that straight away I'm so hooked on her energy because I'm one of them people that decides quite quickly. Like I will know within 5 or 10 minutes. Every single coach I've ever hired, and I've had quite a few or program that I've bought into, I've known it's been like that. I'm not joking. Within minutes of me watching this person, right? And I just know it's just like a deep inner knowing. I was like, straight away, you're my person. I don't care what it costs. I'm gonna find the money, right? Like I just know. And I've been working through her content all week and I've been thinking, what is it about this girl? And when I look at this girl, it's like she's me. Like I see myself in her, right? But she's obviously much further on the journey than I am, right? Because she's a seven-figure mentor. And that's not why I'm choosing her, because even if she was a six-figure mentor or below, that wouldn't, it's her energy, like her passion for what she's done. And because she's been on the very, very specific journey that I've been on, she like her journey is very similar to mine. She's talking about a very similar like state of way of being, and the way that she works on social media is how I want to work, like what I enjoy. And whatever it is for you, you might not be looking at hiring a business mentor, but if you're here, you probably are, right? Because we talk about spiritual business, obviously. Um, but whatever it is, it's something, say if it's a relationship coach, it's that it's you feel that, and this is what's really important, why you share your story, because this is your brand, is that that person has been through what you've been through and that person gets you. And then when you've got that person, if that person gets you and the passion and the enthusiasm for what they do, then that's completely magnetic. And obviously there's a level of, what is even the word, competence as well, in that they've got the results and they're kind of showcasing the results of they've got what you want as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's like those three things where that's going to create a really magnetic attraction in in people, where there's going to be like, I need to work with that person. And then if you're consistent with that, as consistent as you can be, right, and you showing really good quality content where people are having a transformation, then you're definitely going to win on social media. You really, really are.
Definitely. And I think competence is definitely one. I completely get you on that one because it's people want to know that you can do what you say you can do. So again, it's that whole showing up thing. And we touched on this at the beginning, but I didn't actually speak about it. Like I see quite a lot of faceless accounts, even ones that are, say, tarot, oracle. And I know obviously you're dealing with cards, literally. But it's a case of people still want to see a face behind the cards. It's a lot of faceless accounts, but my question is like, what's then making you stand out from other people? You know, people want to know the face behind the cards. People want to know the story
Yeah.
behind the cards. People want to know, like, who is going to be delivering my messages? What has been your spiritual journey? And again, this is the whole standing out thing. And it is hard. And like one of the things that I help my clients do is actually being visible on social media and speaking on stories and on reels, because I think again there's one thing creating content and just putting it on, but then there's another thing actually showing up and speaking on your stories. And I've worked with a couple of people now and I absolutely love it when I see them show up speaking for the first time, whether it be a live or whether it be on a story. And I think it's one of those things, it's like it's the idea of it is more scary than actually doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of when you are filming it, all those mindsets that are going to be running through your mind, like, well, I don't like that in the background. This looks scruffy. I don't like my hair. I don't like this. Like all these little voices, like they're all coming from somewhere, which is why we do the limiting belief and the mindset work to get to the bottom of why those limiting beliefs exist. Because when they're peeled away, you are just shining as your authentic self and you are able to just show up as your most empowered self. And it is just a case of, it's authenticity over perfection. You know, I could come on and it like everything could be absolutely perfect, but people aren't after that. I think sometimes, you know, like when I see things on Facebook, and this is going off the beaten track a little bit, like say, just for example, like they'll be posting the Christmas trees at Christmas and the house looks immaculate. And like again, in all the comments, people will be like, we can tell you've not got kids, you know, because it's like all the like literally it's like
Or cats.
oh cats. Like everything is just absolutely perfect. And while to our eyes it looks amazing, like part of us is like, this is not believable. You know, like this, it's like one woman had put like, oh, actually I've got three kids. And I'm like, your three kids are clearly not allowed to express themselves freely in the household because
Yeah.
there was not one kid's toy. There was not one, like, you know, it was just like show home. And it's again, it's like it's not got that authenticity. People want to feel
Right.
raw energy. They don't want to be like, this is exactly what it looks on camera. And then when you pan the camera to the side, it's just like an absolute shit tip. It's like, but that's real though, isn't it? That's all that's authentic. You know, like most of my reels that I've done, like the best is when you're just kind of showing up and you just kind of leaning into the camera, like, I've got to tell you this story. You know, like it doesn't need to be all like all the prim and proper thing. So I think sometimes how we perceive and how we think what people want, that's how we've got into our head, but really it's wrong. People just want, you know, just to show up and just to share something. So again, it's those hurdles, isn't it? Those little mindset hurdles and mindset shifts. So yeah, so with perfection, with social media. And this was one thing that used to drive me to distraction when I used to create things on Canva. It was like, it needs to be to the left, it needs to be to the right. Like all my proper OCD, like really used to rain down hard and it used to take me ages. Honestly, sometimes I'd be like making a post and it'd take me a day. So that used to do me head in. So that's why in the end I was just like, I'm just gonna do reels because if I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do a post, then it's just um, and as we've said before, the good old classic FISI. What does it stand for, Amy?
But yeah, definitely the fuck it, send it. Like, and yeah, because I know you love reels, but I definitely don't. I like long form content. That's how I've bought off people. I've never bought off a reel, but some people love scrolling the reels. I never scroll the reels. So it's interesting this because this is what we mean again about there's not one size fits all. There's no wrong or right way of doing things. Like you're supposed to do on social media what you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy watching longer live streams, which I do, I'm obsessed with watching people's big long 1 hour live streams. Some people can't stand that. Some people need to short. Like I'm not that person. Like whatever you do on socials, if you enjoy Instagram, then go and do Instagram. I don't, so I don't really do it. And you have success off Instagram. And like I really enjoy Facebook groups, and I know that you're not into that really. So it's like you've got to go and do what you enjoy. The same as in your business where you're like, you're not going to teach on something, you're not going to talk about something, you're not going to coach on something. that you don't really enjoy doing. And if you do, it's not going to go well for, like, it might go well for a while because you can still be really good at something, but you're going to burn out from it eventually because you're not going to enjoy it, right? It's like anything. And it's like, it's the same with social media. You've got to go where you feel called to go. You've got to put your energy into content creation the way you love to be, on the way that you love to, like, read, consume, I'm losing my words now, consume content, because it's all part of your business model. You can't see social media and what you do on there as being separate from what you do from your business. You've got to learn to see it as an extension of your creativity. On social media is an extension of your energy, and that's why it's really important that you feel really aligned to whatever it is that you do, because if you don't, other people are going to feel that as well.
See, I love how you've just said that you sit and watch the lives on Instagram for an hour because that
Facebook.
was that was one of
Yeah.
the ways that I got round making reels. Because obviously when you make a reel, you've got to like go and record it and then you've got to hash it all up and put it on Instagram. And this was taking me time. And then most of the time as well, because I'm on Android, for some reason, like honestly, if you'd have seen all the stuff, like all the text would be down here and then it'd disappear and then it'd be this. I'm like, what is Instagram doing to me? So in the end, I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to do a live because it's just easier. So I started doing that, but I used to set a timer on my watch so that it would like vibrate when it was up, so that because I was like, I could talk for England, as we all know on here. But I would set myself sort of like a limit because I'm like, oh no, people's attention spans. So now that you've just said that, I feel like you've given me free rein to like speak for England on them because I didn't really assume that. Again, though, it's assuming, and if you assume, you make an ass of you and me. Like some people will go on there and they won't like lives because they just want that short, short, short,
Yeah.
short. But then there'll be people out there that do want to sit and watch an entire live. So it is
Yeah.
all about coming back to do what resonates with you because there will be someone out there that also resonates with how you've done it. So I feel like we've
Exactly.
just kind of proved that now that, this is different horses for courses,
Yeah.
and it's like again though they say how Instagram works is it changes the algorithm and changes what it decides to push. First of all, it's like when you create a post and then when you put it out there, if first of all it sends it to like a small collection of your followers, and if they like it, then it's like, oh well, this must be good. So then it sends it out to the wider audience. But then obviously sometimes it changes. It's like, oh, it's favoring reels. Oh, but now it's favoring carousels. And it's like if we sat there and like, oh, Instagram's changing what it does, and therefore I may
No.
do it. It's like,
Yeah.
like must keep up to date with how Instagram's doing. And it's like you're just going to end up banging
Yeah.
your head against a brick
No.
wall, which I feel like that's where I have been before with it.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it really is, as we've both said, just doing what resonates with you, like what lights you up. But this is what it's about, having your own business. Like when you used to be sat, and I'm just going to relate this to my corporate job, but when you just sat there and you're just like, I know it's paying the bills, but this is not lighting me up. And that is why we've created our own businesses, because we're doing what we love. And that's what it's about. It's about showing up on screen and conveying what we love. So if you're trying to do a modality or a medium, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't resonate with you, it's like all that love has then just gone because it's not coming across well, is it? Like, oh, absolutely love what I'm talking about, but I hate doing this.
Yes.
So it's
Yes, exactly. It's that energy. It
you're,
is.
you're snipping
Yeah.
off your energy before it's doing a bit of cord cutting, before it's even got out to the masses, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, go on.
No, I was gonna say it's total self-sabotaging without even realizing it, because energetically you want to
Mm.
do the reading, you want to do the healing, you want to do the coaching, but then with social media you're like, oh, I've got all this beautiful energy, but I hate creating a reel, or I hate, what, do you know what I mean? Posting, right? And that is what's putting the handbrake on you not moving forward. And that's why you must find how you like to show up and then do that and create quality content for that. So it I totally get it, because for some of you it might be like, well, this is just so complicated, but it's really not when you get into it. Like some of the most powerful things that I've ever done, honestly, for me, is like not thought about what I was going to do. I just felt the call to go live. I just went live and I let the message come through as it came through. And I just got on and started chatting and then started talking about something. And then that led to another thing. And then I just said to people about what my offer was. And then people just vibed with it and they just wanted it. And it's like because I wasn't overthinking it at the same time. So it does feel hard in the beginning and it can you can do you know what, it's so funny, right? So thinking about one of the first live streams that I ever did with my first business coach and how nervous I was, and I actually wrote not just bullet points, but I actually remember specifically reading reams and reams of maybe like two A4 sides of paper out and then just jumping on and do that. It was like, yeah, literally in 2019. And we've got to start somewhere though. Do you know what I mean? We've got to start somewhere. And then compared to now, and like where I just like can literally jump on a live pretty much and just be like, right, I've got this idea what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes I'll just get a sentence, like it's literally feels like it's downloaded because it is, right? And then it's like they'll give me this sentence, my guides or whatever you want to call it, and it'll be like go and talk about this thing and I'll talk about the thing and I'll say, oh yeah, by the way, I've got this program offer that's ending, I've got this course that's finishing. Do you know what I mean? And people will be like messaging me then and like just signing up for it and stuff. And it's like because that's in flow, right? And I suppose that this is where all this is leading to is that it's about finding your flow with social media. And you're not going to know that until you've gone through the stage where it feels hard and it feels difficult and you're like, what even is this and why am I doing this? And you have got to go through that. And definitely for me as well, like trying to force myself to do reels and create short form content and to write short, it kills me. I can't do it. The way that I operate is I create long things. I like to receive long things. Long sounds so wrong.
Tell me more, Amy.
I like to
Tell me more. This just got interesting. Amy likes to receive what?
long things. I mean, it's been a while, but what can I say? It's like, like, you know, oh, for God's sake. But I like coaches that create long form content. I want to really just that's all. Go deep with people. It's just not going well, is it, this Jen?
It's
It's
like
just
an
not.
OnlyFans advert here,
OnlyFans.
isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I prefer that style, but I know that some people just want to consume information really fast, and that's fair enough, and there's no right or wrong. Some people like really quick, short trainings, like I haven't got time, I haven't got time. I can't honestly say that I've got time either, but it's like I just love that. I love listening to people talk for hours and hours about a thing. And that's how I digest information because I'm really absorbing their energy. That's how I work. But some people just want things laid out like quick facts. And that's how I don't know, that's how they receive information because we're all different in how we receive information. So it's create how you want to receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, well, again, it's just being in the flow of joy. So, and like, it's like we're complete opposites here because if I see a long caption, I'm like, I ain't got the attention span for that. And it's not that I've got a short attention span. It's more of it's if I see like a big chunk of information, it kind of
Yeah.
overwhelms me. And especially like with being in my corporate job, I used to like skim read. So I read the first part of the sentence and then the last part of the paragraph, and it kind of like summarize it for me. So I feel like I've kind of still got like that mentality in it. But again, it's creating what resonates with you, I suppose, because there's no point in me trying to sit there and write world peace, war and peace,
One
uh,
piece. Yeah.
world peace. If it doesn't resonate with how I do it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely with that one. But yeah, it's funny. It's just doing what resonates with you and just being unique and just doing it how you want to do it, not how somebody else is like telling you to do it. Like, oh, but this is
No.
better to do because if your energy then is going against that, like that, oh, it doesn't resonate with me, then this is what people are going to feel. People just want to feel your love. And I think the biggest thing that with Instagram, as probably with any of them, is consistency. So it's
Okay.
showing up consistently. And this is where I used to be a little bit of a bugger for this because I'd show up like absolutely all in. And then I'd kind of like just nosedive because I didn't really know what I was doing. And even if you post twice a week, that's still consistent. Like the algorithm knows, like, oh yeah, she only does it twice a week, but this is good enough for her. So again, it's like, and I see people sometime on some accounts, and it's like, my account grew when I posted 3 times a day. And I'm like, 3 times a day?
Well,
You do not have kids. Like, it's, but again, though, it's the different types. And I know that some of these companies or Instagram experts, like they work as a duo as well. So if you've got two people, you've got like twice the brain to do it. But yeah, I feel like finding what's fun for you, finding what works for you, and
yeah.
finding what feels fun. And yeah, I think lives are a good way of doing that as well. And it's like you said there, you've just got to get started, which is the
Yes.
biggest block of all,
Yeah.
right? And it's like how you said, like with having all the notes up. And I think that's the biggest thing of all is just getting started. And it's again, what were people going to think? But I'm going to look shit and I'm going to do this. And it's just like, just do
Mm.
it. And I tell you what, like we used to go to, what we say we used to, like I go to cacao ceremonies. And obviously when you used to do the gateway, I used to come to that. And I'd always write down like my intentions and things like that. And one of my intentions at it was a cacao ceremony or some variety. One of my intentions was, I wrote it down, just do it. Like, because again, it was that whole, it's like, no, I've got to do it, but I can't do it. And it's like, just fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
where do you want your business to be? You want your business to be expansive. You want clients to be coming in. You want to put yourself out there. And it's like, so this is what you want and this is what you need to do, but you're not doing it. And I just had to be like, just do it. What is the worst that can happen? And like how you're saying, and it's I suppose like when not that I've ever done this, but like when someone's about to jump out of a plane and parachute and they're literally there, like, and it's like, but you just got to do it, haven't you? Just do it.
Yeah.
You just have to like just do it. And then once you start doing it, you get more comfortable then
Yeah.
and you realize it's like, oh right, okay, there's not a witch hunt coming to get me because I did it really
No.
bad. And like I've not just lost 10 followers because I didn't clean the washing up in the background. Like just Nike. Just do it. I
The
think that
worst
is really
thing,
important what you said.
yeah, the worst thing that can ever, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The worst thing that can ever happen is that, like, what? So you either people ignore you or you get a shit comment. Do you know what I mean? And like, you might think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's not. I promise you, it's not. You're not going to die. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but then it gets to a point where you're like, okay,
Girl posts on Instagram and dies of embarrassment, said no one
yeah,
ever.
yeah, I
But it's
know.
true though. I get like think about it in your head. And I know that this is like obviously as an energy expert and mindset person, you always want to think positively. But sometimes I feel like you do have to sort of address the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like Amy said, it's like, what is the worst that can happen here? Like you're not going to get an inbox saying, "Oh my God, just seen your first live and it was absolutely shocking." Like that just doesn't happen. People just scroll. It's
Yeah.
we build a story of what we think is going to happen in our head, and all of a sudden, this story is then turned into a paragraph, a chapter, a book, and it's like, and really, it's not that bad, is it?
It's not that
So
bad. It's not
it's
that
not
bad.
that
You're not
bad.
going to die, and you just need to do it. And they're like the word like summing up the whole podcast. You're not going to die, and you just need to do it, and that's it. Like if we could give you any wisdom from this for the last 40 odd minutes, that is it. Literally, I have nothing else to say.
Trot might walk out posting on Instagram. You're not going to die. Just crack on and do it.
You're not going to die. Fuck it, just send it. Like to me.
And see what happens. People
Yeah,
might love it. But yeah, just show up and just be weird, be different, be
yeah.
unique, be yourself. Don't sit there reading off your A4 pad that's next to you going, and this next thing that I am going to show you is about this.
Like me in my first live, that honestly, I wish I could find it. My very, very first Facebook live on my business. That is exactly what I did. Exactly like that. And that's exactly what I look like. And we've all got to start somewhere. So
I remembered my first reels. In fact, like there's a lady that I follow actually, and she posted her first. She's an Instagram expert, and she posted her first one. And she was laughing at it, you know what I mean? Just like, oh my God, this is cringeworthy. But again, though, like everyone's got to start somewhere, haven't they? So
I might even find it. I feel like I really need to find it.
find it, link it, put it
So
in the
funny.
comments.
So funny.
Mine was just dead like, I don't know. Like now I'm just dead flowy and like sitting and having a chat. Whereas I was like really like, this is what you need to know about like about manifestation to go really well in your life. Like
Yeah.
mine was just stiff as a board.
Yeah. Stiff. Yeah, that's the one. But you're gonna be like that because in the beginning, probably because you've got nerves and things like that going on. So you're kind of like, you are gonna be like that like the first few times, but you just gotta do it.
Maybe have a drink and then go live.
Maybe, maybe.
I'm joking. I don't drink, so I wouldn't know. But like, imagine like, so you gotta hear this, right?
Well, it worked for Jenna Marbles, didn't it? Remember Jenna Marbles on YouTube? Oh my God. So Jenna Marbles was like one of the biggest YouTubers probably ever at the time when it first started. And her YouTubes were just her being drunk and just talking at the camera, just getting wasted and chatting at the cat. That was her whole thing. Oh, she was brilliant. Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, I digress. I feel like I've got no more words other than just do it. Like, what did we say? Like,
You're not
oh
gonna
God.
die.
Yeah, you're
Just
not
do
gonna
it.
die and just do it. I feel like that's complete here for me now. Do you feel like it is for you? We are complete. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments, what are your
Did you
fears
die?
about did you die? Let us know in the comments, like, what are your fears about going live on social media or creating a story or being seen? Have you done it? How was it for you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, have you been doing it for a few years? How do you find it now? Let us know a little bit about that. And as always, if you found benefit in this, please share it with somebody else. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time. So take care. Bye.
Bye.